Welcome. This is Adam with AG4 VR, and today we're going to be installing a new version of the Upscaler mod for the FUS mod list for Skyrim VR. Well, it's not specifically for the FUS mod list, but the currently shipping version of FUS, the latest version is 5.0.1, and it came out before this mod did. And this mod is a nice upgrade to those that need upscalers for running the mod list, particularly if you need FSR or DLSS. The mod author has corrected the black box problem. As far as I could tell, um, it fixes the black box problem for all of these. So if you've traditionally hadn't been able to run, especially FSR, FSR, I don't know of anybody that's been able to run that with the previous upscaler. Uh, without the black box problem. So that's going to be a big plus if you need to use FSR. And the version of FSR that's included with the new upscaler is 3.1. So it's a newer version of the upscaler without the black box problem. So big pluses. If you, like I said, if you're an AMD user, that mod will actually work for every video card, even NVIDIA if you've got a GTX card. I know I had a 1070 that I was very fond of. There's a lot of those still out there, and the FSR mod will work on those cards. Um, so pretty much everything out there. DLSS, DLAA also are free of the black box problem. So good reasons to install this mod. So we're going to dive in and get that installed. So let's get started. Okay, so first I want to start out and I want to give full credit to DeOne, as you see here, has written a very nice guide that you can find on the FUS Discord. Um, right under the guides by community channel, there's its own dedicated section. Um, when we're all done with this, it's going to be nice and cleaned up, and it's pretty much there for the most part right now. But this video is meant as a companion and sort of a visual guide, if you will, for what DeOne has done here, and it's a dedication to him and his hard work on this and much of what we do here. DeOne we just voted DeOne as our MVP, and it's well deserved. He does a tremendous amount for our community, and he's done a lot for me personally, and I personally want to thank him for everything he does. Um, yeah, this is the guide, and as you can see, it's got all this, and then there's comments up under it. I think we're going to remove those comments later on once we make sure that everything's in good working order. Okay, so next we're gonna okay right here. So I've got my Skyrim VR mod list for FUS, version 5.0.1. That's the latest as of this recording. Um, by the time some of you see this, there might be a newer version than that out, but it looks like 5.0.1 is going to be the one for a little while, and this is going to be a guide to help people add that this new upscaler. So the first thing we want to do uh, is close Discord. All right. Um, yeah, sorry about that. All right, first thing we're going to do is we are going to drag and drop the VR address library for SKSE VR into MO2, as you can see in step one of DeOne's instructions. Um, so what you want to do is you want to find the VR address library for SKSE VR, which you will find right there. It's right there at the top under Essentials. So take the one over here that you've downloaded. I actually made a separate folder under my downloads just so I wouldn't have all the other download files. But basically, I'll have the download links under the video. All the links are in the guide on the guide and in the FUS Discord. Um, so you can either use my video guide or use that or use the video with the guide. Whatever you choose to do, it's up to you. Whatever helps you get this done correctly. So let's take this. We're going to drag it over and right there, VR address library. It's important to name it the same name. So I'm going to add 4, SKSEVR, hit enter. The reason why is if you don't name it the same name, you won't get this window. This window is good because you want to replace it. Boom. So our new version just went right there and replaced the old one. Old one's gone, new one's there. We're in good shape. And the reason why we can do that is because each version is backward compatible with the previous ones. So updating VR address library is never going to hurt you. As far as I know, it'll never hurt you. As of right now, it never hurts you to upgrade to a newer version. Usually when the devs of FUS release newer versions of the mod list, they upgrade that as one of the main things they do. Because a lot of the mods depend on newer versions of that. Okay, so next thing we're going to do is we're going to drag and drop the Skyrim Upscaler VR into MO2. So grab that one. Actually, before I do that, find the Upscaler section. And you see I've already got stuff in there because that's included with the mod list. I'm going to leave all this stuff in there because adding this upscaler is not going to bother your old upscalers. You can leave them there. If it makes you feel better to be able to use the old ones, more power to you. It's not going to hurt anything to add to the list. So let's drag it over. I'm going to drop it in right above DLAA because I think I'm going to make this one a newer version of DLAA. And let's just wait a minute. Okay. All right. Now DLAA newer upscaler mod. How about that? There we go. So we can tell it from the old ones. Newer upscaler mod. All right. There it is. Next, we're going to open that. So the way we open that, you're going to take what you put in there. The instructions are going to say open Skyrim Upscaler VR mod in Explorer. And that's essentially what we're doing here. I've just already named it something else. So right click on it. Let's open in Explorer. All right, so we get this nice folder here. And we're going to create a folder called Upscaler Base Plugin. Base Plugin. All right. And you'll see in the instructions, it'll say you should now have a meta.ini file, SKSE, and an Upscaler Base Plugin folder inside your main Skyrim Upscaler VR folder. All right, now they want you to the guide wants you to search for your upscaler based plugin mod in your downloads. And I just want to add, um, you're going to download all these mods from each of these sites. I mean, from each of these pages, which they're all pretty much on Nexus, except for this one. And I'll get to this in a little bit um, when we get to it. But one thing I want to add is when you get to this page, let's see, I think you can do manual download. Yes. Yes. Okay. All right. That link was fixed. There was a problem with the previous one, but this link has been fixed. So I'm not even going to bother with that one. Basically, just get the latest on each one of these, and you're good. All right, and we're going to get back to this. All right, so find the Upscaler base plugin folder. We're going to, I tell you what, I don't think we even need to extract it. Just whatever you use for your, I mean, you know, most people, I use WinRAR. I like Win. I've used it for many years. You can actually open this up with Windows Explorer and copy the files. Copy, go over to this Upscaler based plugin folder, paste. There you are. All right, so now if you're, and the instructions, I think it's step 8. If the steps stay the same numbers and everything, by the time we get done with all this. But basically the next step says if you want to install DLSS or DLAA, you have to download the DLL files from the website. The website that's in the guide. I'll also include a link at the bottom of the video. But it's basically this techpowerup.com website. They've got a whole bunch of NVIDIA DLSS DLLs, and if I'm not mistaken, I know the newer version of this does not work with this mod that we're installing. It doesn't work with the old one either. I think prior to this version that came out on January 31st, I think this version is the one that works. So I'm going to show you 2 ways to get this, and I think this is a newer version than what's in the mod list. I'm US, so I'm going to get that one, and I'm pretty sure that this one works. I'm going to double check and make sure. I'm going to run the list with that in it. But I'm pretty sure that that one will work. In fact, I think I tried that one before and it did work. But I will double check and make sure that it works. And if it doesn't work, then I will edit the video and make sure it's not in there. Yeah, so why don't we go ahead and extract that. Like I said, well, I'm going to do it the Windows Explorer way, just so you guys get what you're probably going to see. Because I'm, okay, just hit copy. And we're going to put that in that Upscaler base plugin folder as well. Make sure you're putting it in the right one too. Yeah, as you can see, that's the folder that it's all in is the one that I named it in the mod list because it does that automatically. Yeah, so you can see the that DLSS file is in there too. There's also a different way you can go about getting that file. You can actually use the one that's already included with the previously included upscaler mods. All you got to do is just pick one of those and right click on it, open an Explorer, upscaler based plugin, boom, there it is. I'm curious what version that is. I think it says in properties, if I'm not mistaken. 3.5.10.0. Yeah, so that's a little bit older version. Like yeah, it's that one right there. But we're gonna try the 3.8.10. Okay, so with you can actually install just a generic upscaler mod, and you can hit the N key, and you can configure it any way you want to inside the game. Or you can do it. You can set it up as a preset where it's already set up for DLAA, for example, or DLSS, or whatever you want it to be. But for our purposes here, we're going to set up one for DLAA. Procedure is the same for setting it up for whatever you want, and I'll show you. I'll show you where you can do that. All right, so, and I just learned a new trick for setting this stuff up. We're going to go down to information. Skyrim Upscaler.ini. Yeah, check this out. This is cool. So you can actually edit the INI settings without having to dive into Windows and or Explorer and all that stuff. In fact, I'm going to make that bigger so you guys can see better. So let's try that again. Oh, well, yeah, we can do that. There we go. Skyrim Upscaler. All right, so we want to make this DLSS or DLAA, excuse me. Well, it's essentially all DLSS and DLAA is exactly the same. It's basically like DLSS is your dropping resolution and then you're upscaling up to a resolution. DLAA is upscaling to a resolution without the drop in resolution. But essentially it works the same way. So you can see it defaults to FSR 3.1 upscaling. So you really, if you were just trying to do FSR, it's already set up in here for that. But we're doing DLSS. Well, we're doing DLAA, but it's going to get there. All right, in the next section, which is right here. You see, these are the different quality levels for your chosen upscaler. But there's one option, native. Native is what turns DLSS into DLAA. So we are going to choose 5 for that. And then you got some other options here. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I don't think the sharpness is this high on in the one that's included in FUS, because there's a bunch of other sharpeners included in there. There's sharpeners in everything. So you don't want to go. You really don't want to go that much. I think 4 is basically what we use in FUS. So I'm gonna roll with 4. Yeah. So that's pretty much everything that you would have any need to change. There's other options here, but like I said, if you hit the N key in the while you're in the game, You'll get a menu and you can change all this stuff. You got foveated rendering in here, all kinds of stuff. In fact, I want to turn that off because I personally don't like fixed foveated rendering, so I want it off. So all right, so we're good. So let's close, save changes, yes, and that's it. That does it. All right, so I'm gonna tick on some of this stuff. Yeah, I'm not into. I don't run reshades. Run that too. Okay, all right, we're gonna give it a try and see you guys in a minute. And it worked. Check it out. This is FUS modless Skyrim VR with the new version of the Upscaler mod, DLAA. Yeah, let's get some daylight. There we go.
I love the morning. So many possibilities everywhere I look.
All right, so it worked. Everything's nice and pretty. All right, well, hey, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope it helped some of you out. Hopefully, it helped everybody that needed help with this. And yeah, if you liked the video, hit like, subscribe, and we'll see if we can get more videos like this out there to help you guys out. And I hope you guys have a good rest of your day or night, whatever time of the day or night it is for you guys. And take care. We'll see you next time. Bye.